Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rad Company Podcast.
A regular podcast.
Main show, a regular podcast. Not a live one, a regular one.
Not a half story.
No, this is number 28.
That's right.
So it's almost as old as I am.
We're getting there.
That's as old as I am.
Hey,
all right,
boys.
This guy, hey.
Birthday podcast.
All right, well, no, it is not.
Well, that'll be happening in a couple weeks. I'll have a birthday. It'll be
You can't see him, but we've got Tim manning the camera and the
hanging out
audio
on
in the
the
corner
back
there.
here,
So
right
thank you,
behind me.
Tim. He's handling that. Makes things a little easier for us not to have to worry about doing that now. So that's nice. Thank you, Tim. All right, so to start out, we've done a few things today. We got stuff going on.
We had
I know there's a lot of
a
exciting
busy
stuff.
week last week.
Yeah.
And then today was the start, and this whole week is going to be busy. We've got a lot of stuff to do, which is going to be good. Biggest news happened this past week.
That was nice.
The Eagles finally landed.
Yes.
Yes,
So
they did.
That was good. We got to have those. And
People have
sell
been
them
demanding those for quite a while. So
Cue eagle sound.
we're happy to.
Yeah.
We're finally happy to have that for people. Please don't quote my eagle.
we need to cut and paste that.
Yeah.
So my new ringtone.
That's the most embarrassing eagle you ever heard.
It's
more of a seagull than an
we
eagle.
have. Yeah, it is. It is a seagull.
Oh, boy.
Anyways, moving on. So we got our Eagles. That was one of the biggest things that we've been looking forward to for the past couple months, and they arrived. They are perfect.
And we got more sprayers in.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got sprayers.
We got fully restocked with sprayers.
We got pallets of sprayers. in.
Yeah.
Well, we got the U.S. stock again.
Yeah.
We have a habit of doing that. Oh,
Why?
we
Is
need
it-
some sprayers. We need all the sprayers.
Yeah.
We need all
So
the
we're gonna need all
sprayers.
of those.
So sorry to some of those new distributors and one that want them.
Yeah, we're taking them all. So, so we have the 1.5s and the foam, the multi back in stock, as well as the foam 9.
Yep.
So a lot of people are picking up in the 3-pack, the bundle of all three together.
You get a bit of a discount on all of them when you go that way, so it's a good deal.
Yeah, and then we have
But,
guys that are specifically picking up the 9, or they're picking up the multis, or they're picking up.
Yep.
I mean,
you want to foam
everybody's
whole
kind
cars,
of finding.
you go with the 9.
It's a good package,
That's-
though.
yeah.
All three is a
Everybody's
good
doing their own
package.
research, which
Yeah.
is good. You guys are watching the videos, which is awesome as well. So
And
you guys are
look for
knowing
second opinions and stuff. Don't
which-
take our word for it necessarily. Go out and see what other people are saying. I swear, the quality of these things is stellar. You're not going to be disappointed.
And then
with it.
just find out which one works for you, for your application. If you're an O&R user, pick up the multi. If you are a lover of foam, either foam option would be awesome. But if you're doing a big vehicle, save yourself the hassle and just get the foam 9. You're going to be much happier if you're going to be foaming the exterior of a vehicle. For smaller jobs or for wheels, the foam 1.5, absolutely.
Yeah, the
whether you're
1.5 is
doing,
like panel by panel or wheels and stuff. That's really
soap
where
and
it's
water, power
at its
clean,
best.
interior cleaner, iron decontamination product. I mean, it's the options are endless with with those guys, and have fun with them too. We're seeing a lot of cool sprayer bottles that are being customized. People are putting stickers all over them. We're seeing Rad Company stickers on them. We're seeing chemical stickers. Everybody from
looks good.
We're seeing Rupes stickers, PNS stickers. It's kind of cool seeing everybody customize these sprayers to their liking.
Yeah, that's been fun. The other cool thing we've got out is the new bug scrubber.
We do have bug scrubber. We're actually talking about that.
You don't think you'd be excited about a bug scrubber, but these things are.
Well, if you liked our old bug scrubber,
awesome. Yeah.
This is a newer version of it. It's a little bigger. It's a 4x6 instead of a 3x5.
Right.
So it actually fits in your hand a little better, and you can get a little more out of it. And it's put together a little nicer.
Everybody
than the
has
last
to
one.
deal with bugs getting on their
but
car if they drive at
people-
night or.
But people don't know. People may not necessarily know what a bug scrubber is. Let's explain what that is. Okay, so you have your vehicle. You've taken a road trip, right? You've completely hammered the front of your car with bug guts. They've been sitting on there for a week, 2 weeks. You haven't gotten down to the car wash, or you're dealing with a customer's car that has, God knows how long
They went
since
on a
it's
road
been washed.
trip.
They've
They
been road tripped, whatever.
Live in the South,
And
you got bugs everywhere.
You do your pre-spray with soap and water. It does absolutely nothing. You try to scrub it. It's not doing a whole lot either, right?
Well, let's say like you
power
even like
clean.
you're just using your normal water, your wash mitt, and your soap and water. Let's say you got your bucket, and you're trying to scrub. You will remove some of those bug guts, but you won't remove all of them that embed themselves into the clear coat. And what's nice is ours has a jersey mesh material, and that mesh,
It's a honeycomb.
It's like a honeycomb. Allows for that ability to scrub and break those bugs free off the surface.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's soft enough microfiber that it doesn't mar the surface, which
Exactly.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say most of the bug scrubbers that are designed to be bug scrubbers that are sponges and foam, no matter how hard you try not to scratch, it's going to scratch. Everyone I've ever tried scratches the surface really badly on the front of vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the only ones that doesn't. And then you pair it with O&R, which already is an awesome bug cleaner or bug remover.
It breaks those things down. It makes it way easier.
Yep.
But once again, having the Jersey scrub pad side of it and stuff, it really cuts into it
and you can
without
throw it,
damaging paint.
And you can throw it in your bucket. You can throw it in your wash bucket. You can throw it in your rinse bucket or your your O&R bucket.
And you can wash them with your towels if you want to wash them. If you just want to keep them on hand, kind of like you would with like a detailing brush or something like that, throw it in your O&R bucket. Use it, wring it out, throw it aside. It's fine. It's still microfiber. You can use it over and over and over again.
Yep.
And they're so cost efficient. They're so cheap.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't say the price because I got in trouble for that last time.
No price information. Let's just say
it's a good price.
It's probably the
People
change.
Just get
it's probably
excited.
the change in your wallet. Let's just say it like that. Yep. So, and you can use them, you can abuse them, and you can toss them if you need to.
We have people buy 6, at least half a dozen. At a
pick
time.
up a couple and give them away as gifts for people who are taking road trips. Say, hey, bring this with you and a bottle of details.
You might think it sounds silly, but I guarantee you, the right person, they will love that.
Yeah, it works great.
I mean, it's better to have. It's better to take those off, right? And let's just say you did. Let's just say you lightly marred the surface. That's a lot better than having that bug gut etch into your clear coat, right?
Yeah.
Getting rid of that permanent damage for temporarily marring the surface. That's totally a good trade-off.
Well, and I remember years ago being a detailer, we'd use a pressure washer, we'd use those sponges, we'd use all this stuff to try and scrub those bugs off the front, and you could never get them fully off. I remember sitting there
picking with your nails.
At my nails, pulling out little plastic scrapers, and just trying to get.
And you still feel like you're not getting everything.
Yeah. And you still felt like you couldn't get all of them, or you miss one, and the customer comes and picks it up and scrapes it off with their thumbnail and goes, "Why'd you leave that? Why did you forget about that?"
Well, if you couldn't manage this, then you must not be very good.
Right, and you go I've literally spent an hour on the front of this car getting all these bugs off, and you're going after me for one. But that's how it's always been.
Well,
but with these, you can get them all.
Yeah, a good
really
example
quickly.
Of maybe a process you can incorporate is, you get a new car in, right? Say you're a detailer, you're detailing for a living. You get a new car in that you've never seen before. You've never touched it. As a detailer, you have to learn an entire car and all of its body lines and all of its little cracks and crevices in a short amount of time. If you get a really complex bumper that has, these deep wells where the headlights and the fog lights and everything,
air intakes, grills.
I mean, you could easily just grab your bucket of O&R, dip your bug scrubber inside that, do a pre-spray on the scrubber with maybe some power clean or some all-purpose cleaner, and just start going to town. Maybe that'd be the first thing that you do during your wash, and just note that you get all the bugs off because a customer will find that.
Well, and in my shop, my guys would use those bug scrubbers. They'd have them in their bucket of O&R, and I would pay a kid to come in and actually just wash the cars. He'd pressure wash, do an O&R, and do engines and wheels and fender wells and prep the car, door jambs, so that we always had prepped, ready to go cars that just needed to be detailed. So they go through and knock out 6 or so a day, and then my guys would just pull from that. My detailers, they'd pull from that. Well, if they, in the essence of time, they had to go fast. So they'd use power clean on the front of the car. They'd use a bunch of fender wells, tires, wheels, go around, pressure wash everything, do a quick O&R bath, and then dry it off and pull it out. If they missed anything, which they could because they're going so fast, my guys always had O&R and always had a bug scrubber, so that they, when they were going to do their claying process or whatever else, sometimes we'd clay in the wash bay have those guys clay the car if it needed it. They just take their bug scrubber, and because they're using it in O&R, they just wipe the front of the car down, get all the little extra bugs that were missed that they saw when they walked out to the front to open the hood to start to clean to dress the engine and finalize the motor or whatever. They'd see those. It was easy to just have that wet, dampened bug scrubber hit those spots that maybe they missed, and then wipe them dry, and then go about their polishing, whatever they had to do on the surface.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, makes it nice. So,
and to totally segue out of all this
bug
scrubbing talk, there is another thing that happened over the weekend. We hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes,
which is probably where you're watching this. If you're listening on a Shout Engine, there's a link that takes you to YouTube. You can see it for yourself.
And thank you to everybody that subscribed and joined up, and all our new folks watching.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much for coming in. If you came in for cars, we've got that stuff. If you came in for detailing, we've got that stuff too. If you don't like detailing but you like cars, maybe you'll end up liking detailing after you watch us do a few things. So
hopefully,
give it a
hopefully
chance.
we didn't lose talking about the bug scrubbers. But
I know. I felt like that was our first test.
It did get a little deep.
We talked about a little bit of everything, whether it's cars or whether it's detailing or whether it's just daily life. We have fun.
It's kind of whatever's the topic of the day on your mind. So, at any rate, big part of that though is I wanted to make a little something happen for our whole 10K thing. It's a little 10K giveaway, if you will.
And thank you. It's a car from Adam LZ.
Whoa!
Wait, what?
Well, I knew when I censored the car in the driveway on that video that there were going to be a lot of questions, and it's been hilarious watching all the speculation. Do not say a word, but it's been fun to watch. Anyway, he'll say when he's ready, I'm sure.
But going back to our giveaway, Dane.
Right.
What are the rules?
Well, okay, it's very basic. I literally just came up with this.
He literally did. Like
because we like to fly by the seat of our pants. But I thought it would be really nice to give some lucky subscriber a gold kit.
Hey.
And that's no joke. A gold kit?
Gold kit's a nice kit.
Nice.
That's a nice kit.
So that gets you a lot of stuff.
That's gold. It's a nice gold kit right there.
It's the gold level kit. You can take a look on our website at theradcounty.com.
We have a silver, a gold, and a platinum.
So, gold's it's up there.
Yeah.
But basically, it's really simple. You just have to make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, the Rad Company YouTube channel. And if you're listening on a podcast and you're not on YouTube right now, go to YouTube, subscribe to us right now, and get yourself in the running for this. But basically, all you have to do is leave a comment on this podcast video. On YouTube. So you'll see on our YouTube channel.
This video, the one you're watching right now, right below.
TRC Podcast number 28. It'll have the number in the
Subscribe and comment.
Subscribe and leave a comment on here saying, I want that gold kit, and then whatever else you want to say. You can basically come up with a way to frame it. But basically, make it known that you want a gold kit.
Tell us how good looking we are.
And we will know who wants a gold kit because they will let us know in the comments.
That's right.
But, it will be a random selection, but it will have to be somebody who is subscribed to the channel. So if you have your settings, privacy settings kind of weird, like it doesn't show your subscriptions or something, make sure that you have that stuff set to public so that we can know you are subscribed to the channel.
Especially when we start looking for you.
Otherwise, it's going to be left to the people we can see who are subscribed to the channel. So that's how that'll work. But basically, that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So, hey, free stuff. Who complains about that?
That'll be fun.
And I'm sure when we get to 100K, I know it'll happen. So whenever that happens, who knows what'll be given away at that point. But maybe a little more than a gold kit. Oh, who knows? Maybe.
Well, if we did a gold kit at 10,000, times that by 10, that's 10 gold kits, right?
You win a free Adam LZ.
Your own personal.
Which, by the way, that video, man, you guys have been watching that, haven't you?
It's been good. We're very thankful of that.
That's
go watch. Hope you're watching the rest of the videos on our channel. If you're new.
Well, if you go back and watch the back catalog, so to speak, there is a lot of stuff to see. So if you're new to us, check out the other stuff. There's some fun stuff in there. Levi, Master Detailer over here, he's definitely got his own show called Details with Levi, and he does a little talk show called Detox.
That's right.
And then we got Anthony over here. You know this goober. He does all the Wash Wednesday stuff. So, he's...
and to those of you that like Wash Wednesday, we are working on a shirt.
Ooh,
that will be available here in about probably another week. Hopefully we'll be able to launch it on the site, and we'll do a live video and all that stuff, letting everybody know that the shirts are out.
Because we had a lot of people asking for that, so
it's and it looks cool. So we think you guys will like it. I predict Anthony will buy at least 7 of them, one for every day of the week.
Yeah,
and that's all you're going to be wearing from now on.
I may or may not get a hoodie made of it so I can wear it during our shoots if it's a little cold outside.
Right.
Put on the Wash Wednesday hood. Yeah.
And if you guys, we did, the 3 of us made our own hoodies for Wash Wednesday.
Yep.
So
fun stuff.
If you like which ones we are wearing, let us know, and we may build some in the future for those folks.
Who knows? Maybe it could even be a giveaway item at some point. We can always work something out. We like doing, from our Free Swag Friday on Facebook to our Towel Guest giveaway on Instagram, we do a lot of different stuff. So if you don't know about that stuff, go at us on those platforms, whether it's Instagram. Just look for the Rad Company. It's that simple. Yeah. But you'll find them, and get in for free stuff. But so that's enough of the plug for that. So let's get back to
with the Eagles coming out today.
Yeah. Oh man.
Today Thank you to all of you that bought the first flight kits.
Yes.
We raised $21.60, I think.
Was it $21.20 or $21.60?
$21.20.
It was $21 something.
It was $21.20.
Yeah.
We raised $2,100 and $2,120.
How fast did that happen?
$2,120, and we raised that in under 6 minutes. And we donated 100% of those proceeds to the JDRF, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Yeah, we're not taking a dime at that. That's all going to JDRF.
Yep. So today was the day where we actually got to do our check presentation to the
Mm-hmm.
JDRF. We did it on the steps of the Idaho Capitol building here in Boise, Idaho, on Type 1 Diabetes Awareness Day for the state of Idaho.
It's a nice touch.
So it worked out pretty good. We did it in partnership with the JDRF. They invited us out there. We went out, the four of us all went out with Jeff and Carolyn. My wife and kids came, and my mother-in-law and my stepmom came. And
we'll post pictures online.
Yeah,
like
so
Facebook
we'll be posting all this so you
Instagram.
guys can see. And, it was great to be able to see a community that we were helping. See an organization we were helping, and see other kids that were afflicted.
Yeah, hear their stories.
With this disease. There were some that spoke. There were the companies that were there. My son saw the Dexcom guys were there, and they had one of his blood glucose monitor on his arm, and he was like, Mama does. That's what he calls them, as Mama does.
Yeah.
And so he was pretty stoked about seeing that, and they were excited. And then he was excited about getting JDRF balloons. And in one scene, I took a picture of him. He was asking they had a table of cookies.
Oh.
Around a bunch of diabetic kids. And I thought that was kind of, I was like, there's a lot of fruit and a lot of cookies there for a bunch of kids with diabetes. But it was cute to hear him walk up to my wife and say, can you dose me for this cookie? Yeah. And one of the heads of the JDR,
Dose me, Jim.
And one of the heads of the JDRF, she was there, standing there talking to my wife, and she started laughing just because that's very typical. Yeah. Augie wanted insulin.
Give me the good stuff.
I need some insulin so I can eat this cookie. Yeah. And so it was fun. It was cute, and I got a picture of my wife plugging in the info into his pump so that he could get his insulin.
That's great.
And he's holding his cookie and he's looking around. So that was really good. And so we got up and spoke, and then we got a big group picture and photos and stuff.
It was really nice. Yeah.
It was really neat to be able to be there and witness that, check it out and stuff. So that was really cool. So thank you again to everybody that donated. We do have more projects coming out this year. As new towels debut, we've been talking about doing these type of limited edition runs prior to the towels.
Because it feels good to give. I mean,
and and it's something we're gonna try and pick different charities to do this. Same with the way we've been working the My Other Cars and Elantra sticker. That money, those sticker sales are just gonna go to donations to different as a donation to different charities. We're just gonna randomly dole out the money every quarter to different groups. And
you can get the sticker even if your other car isn't an Elantra.
You can
In
go
your
on
heart,
there,
it is
pick
an
it up at
Elantra.
theradcompany.com. And again, the proceeds go to a good cause. We'll name who we're going to give it to when that quarter comes up and let everybody know. Hopefully the more you buy, the more we can say. Otherwise, we'll be like, $10 this month is going to, or this quarter.
But you know what? That's $10 more than they would have.
But it's $10 that you guys did generously donate. So we're thankful for that.
Every bit counts.
But we have talked with your parents about doing something else. We may do, Women and Children's Alliance. We may do, the St. Luke's Children's Hospital. We might do something like that. So we
Good
just had
causes
such a
abound.
good turnout from you guys that it really... It made us feel good, and
It was inspiring.
And I know they thanked us. So thank you to all who were there, and like we said, we'll have pictures and things like that on our site coming soon. But this week's going to be crazy. We have Dan Williams of Optimum Polymer Technologies and the host of the Optimum Synergy podcast. He's coming in. Hello.
I love that intro. If you've never listened to the intro, go listen to their intro right now. It's fantastic.
It's a great intro.
It's fantastic.
So Dan is going to be coming in. He flies in tonight. He's going to be in our studio on Wednesday with us, and we've got a couple folks lined up that we're going to have come in. So we're going to kind of do some dueling podcasts while we're in here. So Dan will probably hook up his gear as well, and then we'll hook up ours, and we'll just try and get a couple podcasts done that we can do with everybody and enjoy.
I should clarify something on the giveaway we talked about earlier. The timing for that is basically when our next main show podcast is released.
Next main show.
That's when we will have an answer of who
the winner is.
So don't mix it up with the podcast we may potentially be doing with Dan.
Right,
That's a different one.
It has to be a TRC only.
It has to be a
with
main
the three
show
of us
podcast.
that you see, and then we will announce who the winner is.
But yeah, when you see it, you'll know.
Yeah. We'll probably even put it in the title that it's a.
I'll put it in there.
Yep.
So we've got Dan, and then we got a good week. So Dan is going to only be in on Wednesday.
Right.
Thursday and Friday he's doing stuff. Tuesday he's doing stuff. But then on Saturday we are going to be going to Lupo Motors.
Yeah.
Those of you that have watched Detox in the past or maybe listened to it have heard Drake Beaudry of Lupo Motors. I think it was last week or
He's
so.
Fun,
you brought
dude.
Up. But
I did a whole Wash Wednesday with him. You just haven't seen it yet.
That's coming. But we're going to go over there because Matt Ward, who took over my shop, Hawks Detail, when I left to come over here, we have since parted our ways from Hawks. Even Matt has left. I don't have any financial interest in Hawks anymore. And Matt has gone over to Lupo Motors to start the new Lupo Auto Spa.
Yep.
And we are going over because we're going to be holding the OptiCoat clinic at his new
that's going to be cool.
New place. And we love going over to Lupo. You guys may have seen photos. Check out our Instagram.
It's a candy store of cars.
Yeah, Anthony posted a picture of Matt playing with the new Eagle 500 on the hood of a Cobra.
Mm-hmm. You also may have seen their giveaway for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and you probably saw our video for Valentine's Day with them. Was funny. But so we like those guys. We love doing business with them. I'm glad Matt is over there. He's he's literally probably he is the best detailer in the state.
He is the right guy
as far as
for
I'm
the job.
Concerned, and he's the right guy for the job. He spent last week getting PPF training by Mac down at Optimum headquarters to be able to offer that.
Yeah, Mac was sharing all the progress pictures and everything. It looks like
we had
Matt
him on our detox
was just
thing.
killing it down there.
Yeah, so really excited for Matt. Very thankful for him to be able to stretch his wings, so to speak, at Lupo and have a little more,
he's going to have fun.
Visualize his dream
cars.
of what he wants to do. And not saying that Hawks wasn't there. It's just we did have investors, and it was moving in a direction that neither of us were very comfortable with, Matt and I. And that's why we were.
That's okay. That happens.
We got out, and we'll let them follow their field. But ours is we want to be able to provide that high level of quality and service to customers. Excited for that.
Yeah.
But
well, you're both looking to me like I got an idea of what we should talk about next.
Basically, I was going to say that after that, we do have a lot of traveling going on this year.
Yeah, we do.
We have been talking about wanting to come down to Salt Lake at some point.
Yeah.
We don't know when, so if you are in the Salt Lake area and you want us to come down, maybe do something cool, let us know. Comment on that.
We have a couple friends down there.
We have some friends down there that we can do some fun stuff.
Make an in-and-out stop. Right?
I got some family. I've got some family. We can make a soda stop.
See, that's where it's for him. It's all about that
get
soda,
all
man.
Jacked up on diet.
We've got some friends. We got some detailers down there, so we're talking about doing a quick kind of weekend trip down to do that, do some stuff, and then the three of us just confirmed our spots. We are going to be in Denver at the end of March. We are going to go to the Rupes facility and hang out.
Yes.
Have some fun. So we're excited about that.
Hang out with Dylan. Dylan's cool people.
So that'll be good. And then, we've just got a lot of travel coming up this year. So we're hoping to get more of these great videos that we can do as a team.
We like these kind of like travel adventure videos too.
And I think you guys like it too. I'm sure the podcast customers or folks love listening to our antics. I know they loved hearing that cliffhanger of you and me in the hot tub.
If you choose to get to know us, we're not so bad.
Pouring a
Pour a beer on yourself. So
getting weird in
we don't
Orlando.
need to rehash that.
Hearing about Dane stumbling around.
We really don't
wait for next year,
that.
right?
No.
Next year we'll see what happens. Hopefully the same house. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. Well,
Dane's like, they didn't fix any of these blinds.
Yeah.
Listen,
listen to our previous Orlando Adventure podcast. You guys will enjoy that one.
Which, by the way, Orlando Adventure, I'm working on the actual
video, so you guys can see.
Of that. So it's got like little sneak peeks into our time at Disney World. I said Disney World, not Disneyland.
Yeah,
'cause that's an easy mistake people make all the time.
It is.
But then also, actual mobile tech. And a lot of the IDA stuff that was going on there, a little sneak of the podcast, although you've already seen that, but some more angles and stuff to see.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to the IDA podcast, there's a ton of valuable information from guys.
That is a healthy dose of some knowledge.
There's some guys that have been in it for a really long time and know how to do it. I've been listening to they did a webinar at Mobile Tech for the IDA, so I signed into the IDA's website and listened to the webinar this morning.
Yeah.
Holy cow, there was some stuff in there that I was learning about.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about this. I didn't think it. So tons of useful information. Do yourself a favor and listen to those guys because they're all
if you're interested in detailing, you gotta watch that one. Who all is in that? There are so many.
Well, Mike Phillips from Auto Geek.
Everybody you know and love.
Bob Phillips and Keith Duplessis of PNS Sales and Detail Plus, and then Michael Stoops of McGuire's, Joe DeFiore. We had Rennie Doyle of Detailing Success, the detailer of Air Force One.
Yep.
Prentice St. Clair, who has basically written all the contributing articles about detailing
it's
for
amazing
everything.
To see all he's written.
The guy has written tons of stuff. I'm surprised it never got compiled into a book. I mean, Rennie's got a book out.
Could still happen.
And so did Mike. But, man, Prentice's stuff, he helped me along a lot just reading his articles. Then Jason Rose of Rupes, the technical
who was riding on the plane with us, so he took a second. I was like, wait, is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. And then Justin Lobato of Showroom Finish Detailing.
That dude's got passion for detailing.
Who's now the IDA president for this year.
Yep.
And then myself, and then, of course, Mr. Yvonne LaCroix.
Yep.
Of Optimum. So it was really a good group of guys and one of those groups that I was just humbled to be in that same room with those guys.
That was a cool experience.
So it was fun. Very, very cool, very neat. What else do we got going on this week? We got a ton of stuff coming, but it's just been the Eagles were the biggest the Eagles were the biggest thing because we had to make room for them. Like it wasn't like, oh, they're coming. Like we knew they were coming. They were coming a few days earlier than we had expected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so we had to hustle to get the warehouse
I don't know if the Eagles winning the Super Bowl helped that at all or
maybe look at that pun.
Hey, just wondering.
But yeah, no, they made them they came 3 days earlier so it was we needed to make room. We found out they were like in transit into Boise. It was like,
you were to see the inside of our warehouse right now, it's like standing room only.
Yeah.
There's no space to shoot videos.
Well, we had two major containers land at the same time, and so that was we don't ever have two containers at once, so it was needless to say a lot of product. So we are stocked up. And then we went to the junkyard last week.
Yeah, we did. We went to the junkyard. We picked up a hood for some upcoming videos we're going to be doing. So if you guys watched our IK sprayer video, our product knowledge video, and you see the production, the kind of the quality of and kind of the approach of what we did for that, we were doing the exact same thing for the last cut compound by Jace Price.
Because people ask about it all the time. We want to make sure we make a video that people can really refer to and go, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions because, I mean, that product is still building so much buzz around the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram, all over the place. People are using this as their go-to product for when they're doing polishing or compounding. And so it's such a good product that we really want to show you a good comparison between maybe another staple product in the industry. Do a 50-50 shot, show you the working time of the product, the fact that it doesn't dust, and the type of cut you can achieve.
And then wipe it with alcohol when you're done to prove the point, because a big thing that people kind of get hung up on is the word glaze in the title, compounding glaze.
Yeah,
and they that's something you really got to tackle because people get this idea.
Well, and the glaze part, like Jason said in our video, was that the glaze was designed to help working time in the heat.
Yes, but
that's the only reason it's in there.
Stay
and it's
true to its name, but without the fillers, without filling. And
so he's trying to do the real
He's trying to do the real thing and trying to kind of re-educate, fix what went wrong about glazes in the first place. And so we're not glazing over defects; we're still fixing them. But one big thing though, the Levi tested out is Levi played around with some other brands of polishes and compounds and things like that. And he had me come out the other day to take a look at this hood, and he had a 50-50 shot. And he said, "Okay, on one side here." I think you said you used 3,000 grit, right?
I wet sanded both sections with 3,000 grit, and then I used 3 separate products. So a polish or a compound, a polish, and a finishing polish, and then a microfiber, one of our TRC Lake Country cutting microfiber pads, and then an orange HDO pad and a black HDO pad. Those were the 3 pads I used.
Yeah.
Then on the other side, I only used the last cut for all 3 steps.
Yeah.
And I used a microfiber cutting pad.
And then an orange pad.
And then a HDO orange and an HDO black. So I used the exact same pads, but in one spot I used 3 separate products, and in the other one I only used one product, the last cut, for all 3 steps.
Yeah, and I came out and you said, hey, what do you notice? And I noticed that one had, I'd probably say realistic on a scale of correction. One was at 96% corrected. The other one, it was at 99% corrected.
And the other thing I have to add, after I asked you which side looks better, you picked the side that looked better, and I explained to you, I spent 15 minutes on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And on the last cut side, I'd only spent 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So I timed myself in the amount of steps and fast and speed that I did on it. And so we'll just say it right now, the last cut hit 96, was the 96%. It was the lower of the 2 numbers, but I did it in half. I did it in half the time
with one product.
And I got almost. It was almost indecisive. Like you had a hard time.
Distinguish.
Well, I'm being picky. This is me.
And we had every light on we could. You had lights on it. He was doing everything.
You think the commenters are sometimes picky? No, you need to redo that.
I was looking at this.
We were really
like it was like I was trying to find things that were wrong.
Yeah, and Anthony was one that decided how much. And then when I explained, no, last cut half the time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's insane.
Because we could have added to that. I could have spent 5 minutes on each step instead of 2.5 minutes on each step.
Yep. Yeah.
And you spend that 5 minutes, yes, you're going to get longer working time. You're going to be able to get a little more defect removal. But in reality, to do half the time, one product and 3 pads and get that level of correction, that would satisfy a good 90% of the population.
All but the most discerning of...
Yeah. Your average customer would never be able to see.
No, not even possible. And so once you showed me that, I was like, that was amazing. And I can't. You guys have heard me talk about how much I like the last cut. I'm not going to sit here and keep talking about it over and over and over.
And he's not plugging it to plug it. It's because he actually uses it.
3 good products, and I'm not going to say they weren't Optimum products.
No, they weren't Optimum.
They were another company's products,
but they were great products. They're great.
Yeah. They're good products. They're used in the marketplace, and they were all from the same manufacturer, and they were a 3-step process.
Yeah,
and
they were designed as a 3-step process.
But what we're saying is we were able to achieve that same finish with one product.
So
half the time.
So that's it kind of gives you guys an idea on what we're going to be doing with this video and kind of going forward, the kind of information you're going to get from this. And we're going to take maybe another product or another 2 products and then compare it to show you maybe what the industry standard is, what you typically would expect, right, from a product. Let's just say it's been in the run for 10, 20 years, right?
Right.
You're getting dusting, you're getting abrasives hitting, black trim and ruining that and things like that. And then you have this new product, 2017, 2016, right? Better technology, better working time, no dusting, not going to stain trim, and showing you the difference in how far we've come in that technology. Just because, like everything else that we mentioned in the detailing world, optimum polymer technologies, pulling those polymers into the game and really expanding what people can do and how efficient they can be with polymers versus old school soap methods, old school everything from old waxes and carnauba based waxes that contain abrasives. We've come
I remember back in the day
that.
trying to remove compounds and polishes and using water, and I'd get in trouble from my old boss for wiping panels down.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense." And I remember I was just trying to get something wet so I could break it down.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get the compound and polish off. And that's one of the things that I loved when I moved over to the Optimum system was not only could I leave the compound on the car and not have to wipe it off, but again, the no dusting, the no issues with that, but then leaving it on the surface and going right back over with the polish. And then I could either finish it with just car wax to take the polish off with car wax, or just use a rag soaked in O&R.
Yeah.
Which was amazing because it came off so easy and so nice. And I remember that first time I did that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this just saved me so much time. And then I went back. I got some product from another company. They just sent me product on one of our trips. They gave it back to me and said, try it. It was the stickiest, hardest to remove product. And it's a product that a lot of guys swear by.
It's a popular product.
And I used it, and I was like, I can't get this. It stains my pads. It gets sticky on the surface. It has a hard time coming off. You just can't get it. I was like, this is... it's weird when you start using things that save you time and money, and then you go back to other products that you thought were really good at the time.
And some people get used to that, but it's not for everybody. So for those who happen to be using said product, they're happy with it.
Yeah, it works for them.
It works for you. It's great. It's just,
we want to show you a better, easier, faster way.
Make life a little easier.
So much. I mean, like, okay, so I saw a post today from one of our friends on Instagram, another detailing friend. And he made a post about tape, right? He's posting all this stuff on tape. And I don't look at tape the same way I used to look at tape.
Right.
I used to look at tape as, wow, I need the right tape to mask all these things off, and I have to spend all this time doing prep work. I haven't done prep work in a year.
No, and that's how I was too. I used to be the same way.
Why would you even waste your time?
As soon as you stop using products that are going to stain trim and stuff like that, it makes life a lot easier.
Save yourself some time. I mean, we're sitting here telling you guys that you can get these same, if not better, results with more advanced products that aren't going to stain your trim. And I understand that certain people may want to be OCD and mask certain things off, but I'm telling you right now, I can grab Hyper Polish from downstairs, put it on a polisher, and I will buff all of your trim, and it is not going to change the. It's going to.
I've heard Ivan say it cleans it.
Yeah, and it does, trim. And that's what I would do. And we'd do that in our shop. We'd literally put it on and polish out plastic trim, like mirrors and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like a full textured plastic black mirror.
I'm just picturing the horror in another detailer's eyes who isn't familiar with that stuff.
No,
and watch you just.
I remember
over it.
Training newbies. Prior to opening my shop, Hawks. Training other guys at other detail shops that I worked at, and having to teach them.
You can't do that.
To tape off. We'd have to tape off spots. I'd tell them stay away. They'd stay away from the tape, but then they'd go over, and so there'd be a spot where the tape was, and then there's a mark, and we're over there, a double-aught steel wool and a all-purpose cleaner trying to scrub out.
It's a lot easier if you can just avoid all that crap altogether.
Yeah, and then at my shop using Hyper Polish and just going like, this is crazy. I'm polishing it all.
I missed a spot.
Look at this.
Oh, look, nothing
and then
happened.
wiping it all off, and it's clean, and it looks great. And then opti-sealing or car waxing over the top of the plastic, and now it's protected.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing.
And I think some people, for their own purposes, they enjoy the challenge of doing something the hard way rather than doing the easy route. And for those people, I don't think you're necessarily going to change their minds. But for the folks who just want to accomplish a specific result and they want to get there as pain-free as possible,
and for me,
there are solutions.
But I always looked at it into making money. So you're telling me I can shave an extra hour off of my detail?
Yeah.
Because I don't have to mask anything off anymore?
Yeah.
Efficiency isn't a bad thing.
Okay, that means I get the car done an hour sooner,
yeah,
and I make more money, which means more money in my pocket, more money in my employees'
That's
pocket.
You coming from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
From me, let's just say me coming from a hobbyist standpoint, somebody that just enjoys doing it in your spare time.
But you're a little OCD, so you're like
if you're taping
extra.
off your trim, right? If you're taping off your trim, chances are you're using a product that's probably going to dust, and you're using a product that's obviously going to stain your trim, right? When you're getting that dust and it starts flying everywhere,
and you're breathing it.
And you're breathing it in, you're creating more of a mess. That dust is flying into cracks and crevices that you will never be able to get into
think like spray paint
ever
overspray.
again. Yeah, think of spray paint overspray. You will never be able to clean that stuff unless you're getting there with a fine brush and really fishing things out. ultimately, you're taping off things to make less mess for yourself, but you're still making more mess for yourself in the long run for things that you can't even see. And this is going on a deep OCD level. So that's when you say, okay, would I rather use a product that's going to have the same result that I don't have to tape off, that's not going to dust, and yeah, it may not, fix that I need to tape things off thing, but once you relearn and rewire your brain, there's no reason why you'd ever go back to a dusting product or go back to a product that does, stain your trim.
When you look at that, you're just kind of watching somebody picturing in your head them going, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? It's like a case of just, you don't have to do
folks
that.
I saw a post on a guy that was, it was one of our friends who likes to, let's just say he likes to sell.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Even when he's not, he's selling.
Yeah.
And,
he's a nice guy, just sells a lot.
Yeah.
But he posted a video about the detailer's helper belt.
Yeah.
And how amazing it is and how great it is. And oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And part of me was like, hold on a second. You haven't used one this whole time? Mm-hmm. Like, it's been out for 4 years and you're just now figuring out that it's a good product?
Yeah.
Like,
but hey, credit where credit's due.
Hold on a second.
At least, time went by. They found it.
But he found it and he loved it.
Yeah.
And people were responding to his video because there are people who watch that and see that.
It doesn't matter how many people have heard of it. There's always more who haven't.
Right. It was surprising to me that you'd think everybody, because of how amazing Kevin and Michelle are, everybody on the planet would have heard and knows what the
We have a podcast episode with them, by the way.
Yeah, check it back and look at it and listen to it. It's great. But it was just funny to me to see that and go, when was this video? Like, I had to go back and go, like, when was this video?
Just making sure it's recent.
Literally last week? Yeah. Like, hold on a second, man.
Wow.
But it was good to see that this is, maybe this is where it's, that's what we hope for. It's just everybody can can learn, everybody can see it, everybody can understand it. And I think we're going to start seeing more of these chemicals that are water-based, low dust, safer for you to breathe, safer for the car to use.
We almost take this stuff for granted now just because we've adopted it early on and really accepted the benefits and efficiency it provides. But there are so many people out there who are still doing things the old school ways or, the ways they prefer, the way they were taught. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's okay to try new things. And if you try this stuff and find that the efficiency really does matter for you, take advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually just yesterday I met up with a friend of mine. I guess an associate of mine. We're going to be doing some trade work.
Official.
Right? I'm going to be trading a detail for him that he's going to be doing some work on my car for me, and it kind of worked out great. I told him, hey, I can detail your car, do a correction, we'll coat it, we'll make it fun. While you're working on the car, we'll make it like a fun day event or something like that. And he said, well, dude, I actually just had my car detailed not too long ago. And I said, oh, okay, who do you have it done? He's like, just the body shop had it done. And I said, all right, well, I'd be curious to check out the work,
See what they did.
So I brought my little hybrid. I brought some TLC with me.
I brought
some towels. Oh, yeah, I had a hunch, all right. So, of course, it was a red car. I pull up, and I take a look at it. And right off the bat, I see excess compounds splashed up all over his grill. He had polishing marks. He had all this stuff. He had holograms on his door. And I said, I'm like, what did they use to polish this? And he's like, it was some green machine, with a big pad on it. And I said, okay, all right, I think I know that one. And I said, can
handheld floor buffer.
Can I do a little test spot for you? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I show him a test spot, and he's like, all right. So I don't really see the big difference. And I said, well, let me pull up my fancy light here. And I pull out the light. He literally lost his mind. He said, can I see that light? I want to start going over everything. I'm like, yeah, have a heyday with it. So he starts going everywhere, and he says,
I hope you didn't spend too much
and he's
for
like,
that.
I paid money for that. And I'm like, yeah, you did pay money for that.
No.
And he could not believe it. And it was funny because he still had swirls. He still had all these areas where you can see trails and all this stuff.
Usually it's trails and holograms at that point.
I said, I said, have you washed it? I'm like, how many car washes have you taken this through? He said, I haven't taken it through a single car wash since it's been done.
And he's going, what do you see that I don't?
And you got it back like that. And he said, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, fortunately, I'm here to help you out, man, and we're gonna get you all settled. But once he saw it, he
can't unsee it.
He couldn't unsee it.
Yep.
And he
That's
said,
what we've always said.
He said, "What's that light? Is that a special light?" I'm like, "Well, really? I mean,
it's a body shop light.
It's a body shop light, and yeah, it'll help you see this. But realistically, now that you know what to look for, this light helped you find what to look for.
Yeah.
Now you can't be unseen. So now he's been hitting me up saying how much he can't wait to get it done.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, a couple more weeks until we get that done. I'm like, yep, a couple more weeks.
Once you understand what the difference really is,
you're gonna have to do a ton of 50-50 shots for him just to show him.
It's funny because it's
some tape
red.
down a fender.
It's a red car, and so he's gonna lose it when he sees, because when red
cars
looks,
really
no,
show.
it gets deep.
When red looks good, red looks good,
and when it looks bad, it looks bad.
Yeah, so I can't wait.
Miata.
I can't wait to get it done, and of course I'm gonna have to go back over all of his trim because I checked his trim. He has compound all over his trim.
You're gonna have to probably pressure wash it to get all that old, some of that old compound out of the jams.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of work on this car, and I got time, so it'll be worth it. But it was just funny seeing his initial reaction, and he couldn't believe it. So, but just goes to show there's still so many body shops and things like that working with old stuff.
And so I've been inviting people to our Optico clinic because they're detail shops that do good work. They just do old school work.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the work they do, and they're adopting the new methods. They're using Rupes polishers. They're using non-fillers. They're using, alcohol wipe downs. They're doing stuff but they're just not quite there in pricing, or they're just not there in coatings.
Because if their customers are walking away happy with the results,
right,
then that's
fine,
good enough for them. But it's a lack of education.
But they're also looking at it going like, how is this shop getting more money for this job? Or they're starting to get phone calls going, do you guys do this, this, and this?
Mm-hmm. And they're saying, I've never heard of that before. There's probably an opportunity to learn something.
But what they've been doing is, in the case of one of these guys, he's been referring them. So he's been having to send off referrals to other shops
and that's a really mature thing to do.
That does it, which is good. But he started looking at it, and that's one of the things that's bothering him. Is he's like, we're passing up a lot of
So
I'm passing off this stuff. What are they getting charged? And I explained, well, this is what they're making off those jobs that you're passing off. And once you give them that number and they see, like, I'm giving away this work because I just haven't done the homework, I could be doing this. I'm qualified to do it.
You are
I'm
capable.
technically able to do it. My shop fits all the requirements to be able to do it. I've just been lazy and or I've just not investigated because I thought it was a passing fad.
You don't know what you don't know.
It doesn't matter if it's a passing fad. One thing we need there's two schools of thought with, we'll just say, sorry to go deep into this for you folks that are just hobbyists.
Go ahead.
But this is more of a business standpoint. Detailers like selling coatings because they do make money on them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a guarantee. Customers will pay for coatings because they want the added protection and the warranty and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They want the easeability of the car being cleaner, looking nicer, looking sharper. That's all well and good.
Yep.
There are a lot of detailers that go into this with a school of thought going, it's just a flash in the pan. I'm not going to worry about it. Mm-hmm. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Yep. That's fine. You guys can totally think that. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's always right to be better safe than sorry.
Sure.
Yep.
Now, there is the possibility in the near future that there's going to come about a correction in the economy, right? Mm-hmm. It happened once already. It could happen again. Detail shops don't need to get too far into, this is all we do. I don't touch interior details. I don't touch, I only polish cars and coat them.
Yep.
We can't get into that mentality. Guys have to have that ability to go, yeah, no, I'm going to do the soccer mom's minivan because I figured out a way to get an interior clean and do it right and quickly and cheaply for my cost, but I can sell it to the customer and it's good, better, and butter. Because let's say worst case scenario, 2008 happens again.
Yep.
Folks can't afford coating jobs, but they can't afford to get a $200 interior detail.
Yep.
Guys need to know how to do a $200 interior detail job very quickly and profitably. But having that ability, you can't just rest your hat on, I'm only doing $200 details.
It's a numbers game.
You have to be able to learn how to work the new technology. If there's money to be made in something, try it, utilize it. But don't get so far into it that you cut yourself off from the little work where you're like, I don't need to do that. Design yourself a package so you're fully well-rounded and you can have a very good skill set. Or you end up like the shops that I've been talking to who are just going, I make good money, but how can I make better money? How can my employees make better money? How can I make better money? And I remember a lot of these detail shops aren't owned by rich guys. They're guys who, have kids and families and mortgages and things. This is how to make your family better and more comfortable.
If you can make more money for the same amount or even less work,
right?
The same or less time, why would you not do that? And this is assuming the results are the same. And this is where people get hung up because they go, well, I have to spend more time because the results will be better. Will they?
Right.
Not necessarily.
Well, and that goes back to the same thing we did on our last podcast about coatings. You got to know what coating's right that's going to make you the most amount of money.
Yeah.
Labor and time and chemicals and processes. So it's all about being smart in the game as to what you want to do, but don't cut yourself off from it because you go, I don't like coatings, I only like car wax. Okay, that's fine. You can do that.
You'll be the wax guy.
But when a customer comes to you and asks you to do a coating and you can just go, yeah, I don't really know much about them, I don't do that. That customer is going to look for somebody else that can.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
They may stick with you for this one, but it's always going to be in their head going like, well, if he doesn't know about this, what else doesn't he know about?
Yeah.
You always got to look at it as a first impression.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't know how educated on detailing concepts your customer is until they have an opportunity to kind of walk with you through a little bit. And if they know more about this stuff than you, that's when you should start going, maybe I do need to learn some more concepts, some more, procedures.
And it goes right back to, it's basically all of this. Like I could teach my customers nothing. Polish their car, they pick it up like your friend's Evo or red car, not his Evo, but his red car. And he looks at it and goes, wow, looks great. And I could not say anything.
Yeah.
And they are fine. But there's always going to be that other guy that's going to come in and teach them free. Yeah. That was free knowledge you were offering. Mm-hmm. And he saw it and he was horrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was an example of somebody who was willing to accept that he didn't know.
And I'm not saying those body shop guys are bad. No. That's just how they're trained to detail. They're not. They're not trained at a different level than anybody else.
They're not detailers. There
are some who go out of their way to
learn
higher end detailing.
And there are those guys, but a good majority that they're
once again numbers game. The vast majority just they're totally different.
Yeah. And so it's just offering that knowledge to your customers regardless. I would try and sell my customers on a coating regardless if they were coming in for just an interior detail. And I wasn't that guy that was pushy. I would just say they'd show up, they'd see their car washed, and they'd go, wow, looks amazing. And I go, that's just washed.
I haven't actually done it.
I just want to show you the scratches, the swirls, the damage that's in the car. I can remove that.
What? It looks great.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then
they'd love it. And then you show them or you do a little test spot. Hey, next time if you want to come in, here's just a 1-step. Here's a 2-step.
Well, how much is that?
And I'd leave a menu in the car and I'd circle what they did. Like, here's what service you got today. If you're interested, here's what we could do. This is the next level. And this is the square that I did on your fender.
Yeah.
Here's my little test spot to show you what the paint could look like. They go back. It's just getting that in their head to where they think about, that could be a good thing. But if you don't teach them, or you don't provide that opportunity to teach, it comes back to them when somebody else changes them and puts a bad taste in their mouth.
Sure.
So I could go, hey, here's my test spot if you want to get it polished. They're like, I'll think about it. But at least they know. Because now if they take it to Anthony, and Anthony goes to show them, they go, oh, yeah, no, my other detailer showed me this little spot. That's a great idea. I've been thinking about it. I want to do it. It doesn't matter if I'm going to get the job or Anthony's. No. They're gonna be comfortable because they now have knowledge. Mm-hmm. But if I don't give them that knowledge, then they're going to be like, what? Oh, I paid for this.
Well, and
how did that?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, knowledge is not a bad thing. I really don't like it when people get super offended and super defensive because somebody taught a customer of theirs what to look for when it came to scratches and stuff like that. And then suddenly that person's like, well, and they're mad because they have to work more now. Yeah. Well, and it's like, well, you can elevate your game. You can be more efficient. You can still achieve better results in the same amount of time you did spend. and make that customer happy. It's just now that customer knows what to look for. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, well, then and then still further education, and then give them percentages. That's what I like to do for people. So that's when I say
you like your percentages.
I love my percentages because I say, hey, there's your car. That now you've seen the swirls, you've seen it. Yeah. So now what I can do is I can offer you a 1-step polish. Right, I will get that to 65 to 70% better, hopefully within range with a 1-step polish. Right. And they say, oh, wow, that's all I would want is just 60, 70% better. And then I say, okay, or I could do a 2-step, right? And I can get that to the 85, 90% better if you really, really want it better. And then some people say, oh, well, now that you put it like that, I'm happy with the 65%. And you give them that percentage, that reference point, and you say, this is the cost for that, and this is the cost for this.
And Jose Fernandez speaks about that as well. And he gives people a list. So let's say 1 through 10. He goes, your car coming in, it's, let's say you're getting ready to trade it into a dealership. You haven't ever detailed it. Yeah. Your car's a 3 or 4. I will get it to a 6 or a 7 at this price. Yeah. You want me to get it to a 7 or an 8, it's this price. You want me to get it to an 8 or a 9, it's this price. And that's all he leaves it at. Yeah. And then they go, well, I want to get it to a 10. And he says,
you don't want
to get it to a 10 because you're not going to be able to afford me getting it to a 10.
Yeah. The other part is if you get it to a 10, you're going to have to seal that thing in a bubble because
that's
the
what
next time somebody gets it to 10, there won't be any paint left.
That's what he gets. He goes, you get me to a 10, this is the cost. And they're like, oh, never mind.
It's diminishing
returns.
The
9 works great. 8 or 9 works great.
We'll because you hit that level where it's like, okay, the price break happens at a certain point where the person goes, yeah, I can't see the difference after this level, and I'm good with that.
Well, and he also says a 10, your Acadia, your GMC Acadia,
your Acadia was never meant to be
is not going to Pebble Beach.
Cue somebody in the comments Concourse. Right now going, I'll get it to a 10, and then they spend 100 hours detailing that Acadia.
It's not a Riddler Award-winning vehicle.
For the mother driving it who will never notice or care that it looks that good. Yeah.
So you got to make sure that you...
She cares more about the interior.
But you're right. Your percentages work because they see a value that they can achieve.
Because I give them it's just a physical, not physical thing. I guess it's just this thing that they can put in their head and imagine in their head. And again, with the 100% thing and why that's not realistic is I could say, yeah, I'll get it to 100%, but I'm going deep, and that's the thing. Your car probably won't be able to get to 100% again.
This panel, going all the way back to us doing the comparison side by side, that panel I only wet sanded with 3000. There was a couple little deeper scratches. Now, this hood had a ton of clear on it, so I could have gone down and gotten those scratches out, but that necessitates me going down into 1000 and 1500 grit to kick them back and then work my way back up.
Well, and
that's at least an hour or two of sanding in that spot, at least an hour to get it back to that spot, and then start polishing
And it's not that you don't want to do the work. It's just that you can be fairly certain that the customer is going to want to know before they go to that extent because it's going to cost them at that point.
Right.
They got to know.
It's not going to only cost them money, but it could cost them the life of their clear coat.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing. You're trading next time for this time.
And if it was a show car and they said this car is in the dark all day long and never sees the sun, and I say you only pulled out for this, okay, then so be it. But if this is a daily driven car,
and you want to run it through the car wash every other week because it's convenient,
cat's gonna jump on top of it.
The cat sleeps on the hood at night.
I mean, what's
and the neighbor kid or your kids ride their bike into the garage and sideswipe the car.
No.
Yeah,
I pulled up alongside my buddy's van so I just finished correcting and polishing and coating my Camry, my wife's Camry.
Yeah,
and I pulled up to church this Sunday and I pulled up alongside one of my buddies who washes his car religiously.
Yeah.
Keeps it very clean, does it himself. I've got him on O&R, does a great job. Pulled up alongside his white Subaru wagon. Looked great. And I know he keeps his stuff nice. So I'm parked it. So white Subaru wagon, Camry. And then next to me is my buddy who has 4 boys.
Okay.
Youngest is 7.
Okay.
All right.
7 or 8. Oldest is 16.
Pretty active
some
kids,
chaos.
like out and about.
Pulled up to his green minivan, his Toyota Sienna minivan. All the way, like he's only had this van for a year.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Right? All down the side. Basketball marks.
Just
from basketballs
rubber.
bumping into it.
Yep.
bike handlebar marks from hitting the bikes or leaning their bikes up against the car or riding into the garage and hitting them. Because I remember making those marks in my dad's cars.
No, I did it too.
In the garage.
I did it too.
And it happened at a certain height.
I literally looked at that side. I was like, wow, that is rough. Yeah. But I also know he can't do anything to stop it. No. Mm-hmm. So I look at it and go like, if he called me and said, dude, I need help. 10. We need to detail this. I know that I'm not going to sell him that 10. No. There's literally the environment that vehicle lives in is not going to sustain.
I'm sorry, this is a Concours Sienna.
A Concours Sienna minivan level finish.
Yeah.
You know. Now, my car is already hard enough to try and maintain with 2 little kids. My son kisses the car every day when he gets in for some reason. I hope it's not OCD. Yeah. And he's like, he's got it, but he loves the car. He says, "Oh, hi, McQueen," and gives him a kiss. Yeah. So, and he, rubs his hands. My daughter runs her fingers down the dusty car, and
fingers
so
all over the,
I know that, and I try and teach my kids to don't touch a car.
Yeah.
But it's just, you got to know your customers. You got to know what's capable, what they can handle.
And don't be afraid to ask them those questions, like what kind of environment does the car see?
How do you wash it?
We had one of my friends come in with a brand new 2018 Civic Type R, right? White Type R thing was beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Had the piano black wheels, piano black little areas on the car, on the spoiler,
nice
on the
gloss
and everything. And he says, how do I keep this looking 100%, all the time? I say, are you still living in an apartment complex? And he said, yes. And I'm like, it's not going to be 100% all the time.
Yeah.
And he said, well, why is that? I'm like, because you're parking underneath those little, awnings, right? He said, yeah. And I'm like, and there's people parking to the left and to the right of you. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, do you know those people? He's like, no, not all the time. No. And I said, it's not going to be 100%.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody.
I love seeing the shock in his face because he was just like, what?
He was like, what? Like, what? And I said, I'm just being honest with you, man. It's like if you had your own private garage, maybe that would be different. Or if wherever you're parking, it'd be different. But you have to think about this. If somebody's parking to the left of you, to the right of you, they're getting their dog out. You have a neighborhood cat that jumps on your car.
You get railway fallout.
You have a little kid that walks by your car and says, "Ooh, cool car," and
leans up
touches
against
it. And leans up against it.
Rubs his shoulder across it.
It's just not possible. And he was just like, man, I could see the clockwork. Well,
you look at it because what do you bet? What do you bet? He parks that car under that awning, right, at his apartment complex. Then he gets it all dialed in, looking sharp. He takes it to the grocery store or the mall or on a date or to the movies. He's the dude that parks in the DFZ, the dent-free zone. He doesn't want anybody dinging it.
Yeah.
But then he gets back in his car and drives in, and then just pulls it in this little tiny tight spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I do everything I can to prevent it. No, well, you do, but where it lives, at the end of the day, where it lives, you can't control that.
Yeah, exactly. I remember back in the day. I used to park in the dent-free zone. I still do all the time, as much as I can. But even when I did at my previous job, right? I remember one day I looked out the window just to check on the car. I see my car out in the middle of nowhere, sitting there all by itself. And I'm up at the 3rd story of this building. And I see this giant tumbleweed, probably one of the biggest tumbleweeds I've ever seen, rolling. And I'm like, no, it's heading straight.
Idaho's weird, guys.
It's heading straight for my car. And you know how tumbleweeds work. They don't just like bounce.
It's like the Indiana Jones boulder going off.
They don't just bounce
and
move on.
Some of them aren't light and easy. They're full-on tree branches.
And what they do is they
weigh as much as a small tree.
Lodge themselves onto your car, and then just the wind
just rubs them back and forth. It just rubs them back and forth all over the side.
Like a car wash rolling brush, only it's getting dropped on your car, and then it's just free spinning.
Yeah, and it's just staying there. It's just dry, and your car's already dirty, so it's
dusty,
just scrubbing and stuff. So I remember seeing that in the parking lot, and I was like, no. I ran. I swear, I was halfway through something work-wise. I ran down the stairs as fast as I could, went out the emergency exit door, ran out there, and I saw the brush tumbling, and it misses my car by probably inches by the front bumper. And I thought to myself, wow, I do everything I can, and it would have been a tumbleweed that would have gotten caught on my car and scuffed up the finish. And I would have never known. I would have said, who did this?
For a second there, it was like you're living in a detail episode of Black Mirror or something.
But I
horrible things
chasing this tumbleweed.
Well, I went out to my mother-in-law's. My kids were over there one night hanging out. I went to go pick them up, And I'm driving over, and I drive through her little apartment complex.
You drove through her neighbor, huh?
Through her neighborhood to the apartment complex, and there's a gentleman with a brand new Challenger, and he has done a DFZ parking.
Yeah.
He found a spot that he could park it, where it had one side nobody could park on. He backed it in.
Yeah.
He parked it all the way over. You could, and it was a spot that like nobody ever parked in.
Next to like a little island or something.
Yeah, next to the little island. So like he knew that one side wasn't going to get dinged. The thing was gorgeous. Still had this window like he just picked it up that day.
Yeah.
And he had it parked, and I saw it, and I was like, huh, he's got that's a new car. That's cool. I park, ways down, go inside, pick up the kids. We leave. Next day, I drop them off again. My wife and I are going on a date or something. I come back to pick up the kids. He's parked it in that same spot. So I'm like, oh, he's thinking. He's smart. Yeah. Sprinklers are going off.
Oh, man.
That
you
one spot had a busted sprinkler. Like literally it was broken. It was just soaking the side of his car. The side of his car. I'm like, this guy has done, and I laughed and I told my wife, I was like, look, that guy's done everything to try and protect that car from getting dinged and damaged, and the neighborhood's the apartment complex sprinkler is soaking it. Now it's nighttime, so he's probably in bed.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Or watching TV. He's not thinking about it.
That's nature going, nice try.
He's going to come out in the morning. His car's going to be just dirty and gross and wet. And
water
he's
everywhere.
Either going to dry it off, or he's not even going to, it's going to dry, and he's going to go like, oh, it's just morning dew.
Yeah, just drive
off. And but it was just funny to see that, like, no matter what. And also in those apartment complexes, I don't know if you've ever looked, or you're weird like me, if you ever go into those, everybody's got a scuffed bumper. From hitting those white parking poles.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Scuff bumper from hitting those poles. I know
and
exactly.
people go, no, me, I know how to drive.
No, everybody. Like my mother-in-law has that new red Elantra.
Yeah.
She has not hit a parking pole yet.
But you're waiting for it.
I'm waiting for it when she's going to call me and go like, I bonked the pole. You got to wipe it off.
At some point.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, guys,
I figure we kind of.
Sorry, we went a little deep on that.
That was fun though.
That was fun.
Well, for us anyway. I don't know about you.
For the new guys, for the new guys listening, if you're still listening, we go deep into that kind of conversation every once in a while.
And that's our podcast. So we do a big mixture of all kinds of content.
We hope you learned something.
Yeah.
And we've got a good week coming up with a lot of new stuff that we're excited about that we're going to be showing. If you're watching, maybe you're seeing this sweet beast right here. We're going to tease it right now. This is the new Everest 550.
Yes, sir.
Gosh. Is that a Buttersoft suede edge?
It is a Buttersoft suede edge all the way around.
Fancy.
550 GSM, 70-30 blend. This is a sweet towel.
I love this towel.
Yeah. So, and like all Everest, it only comes in white.
Yeah.
So,
very cool.
That is going to be coming soon, so you guys can feast your eyes upon this bad boy.
Yep.
Here on the podcast.
Well,
and,
you guys know the rules for the giveaway. Make sure to leave a comment down below on this video.
On this video.
YouTube. On this video. Not the next video. This video.
Make sure you're subscribed, and then a week from now when we do our next main show, that's when we'll announce the winner, so you guys will know who won. Exciting. A gold pack would be pretty cool. And
So, just to reiterate,
we'll actually probably hold the gold pack in the next video.
Oh, we will.
So that way you know that that's the one that you won.
Somebody.
Yeah.
But just say in your comment on this video, if you want a gold pack, say you want a gold pack. You can say it however you want, but just say you want a gold pack.
Yeah.
Say, my name's like Tail of the Dragon or Tame the Dragon or Magic Dragon or Super Dragon.
I like where you
went with that.
Yeah.
All the okay.
I want a gold pack.
Yeah. All right.
Very cool.
You'll get one.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can't guarantee it, but maybe.
It could be stopped.
It could be. Yeah. It could be. Well, all right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And as always,
we'll see you later.
Fun. We'll catch you later.
Have fun.
See you guys.